What is going on, guys? I'm back with another comic collection video. Last time I did my entire Detective Comics collection, and this time I will be doing Batman Volume 1. So it's going to be the same idea as last time. And I just wanted to say real quick, don't mind my hands. I just did some tie-dyeing, and so my hands are a little bit stained. Don't mind me. I don't collect a lot of the 80-page giants, but I do have this one. This is Batman Annual number 7 from the Silver Age, and I just picked this one up because there were some interesting looking books in here. We have the original Batgirl, who was just a sidekick for Batwoman, and then some Batmite. But here's my earliest actual Batman book, I guess, and it is Batman number 118. This is a very, very rough copy, but I got it for only $5, so I can't complain. This is one of the goofy Silver Age covers where Batman's turned into a mermaid. And then another giant hand cover. These are just always popping up for some reason in comics in the Silver Age. So this is Batman 146. This one is the first appearance of the False Face Society, Batman 152, and I remember False Face being a villain in the 60s Batman show, and I never knew it was an actual character. Okay, and then we have another 80-page giant. This one's Batman 185. Looks like some classic covers. I always liked that one of Robin punching Batman. And Batman 190, that's a classic cover of the Penguin. Always really liked that one. And I've talked about this before, but like this book varies in price so much. I got mine for $15, but like I see this book ranging from like around this, like $15, $20 to like $100 some. So that book is all over the place. 191. This one was a fun book. Really fun read, actually. You can tell by the cover. It's just a very goofy one. But, yeah, I really liked the story in that one. That was funny. 199. Batman trying to buy his own comic on the newsstand. That was just one I always really liked. Batman 202. 204, 205. I really like that cover where Batman and Robin are in the reflection of this mobster's glasses. Just always thought that was an interesting perspective. 210, 215. 216. This one is the first time Alfred Pennyworth is actually named Alfred Pennyworth. Before this book, he had a different name. And it's just crazy to me because this book came out in like 1969. So to think the Alfred of the Batman 66 TV show wasn't actually Alfred Pennyworth, that's kind of crazy to me. I'm a big Alfred fan, and that's kind of an underrated book in my opinion. 236, getting some of my Neil Adams. 237, this one's probably one of my favorite covers of all time. Night of the Reaper. 246, How Many Ways Can a Robin Die? 245, 247, 248. Well, while I was editing, I realized that I completely forgot to pull this book out. This is one that I literally just picked up the other day, and it is issue number 255. It's one of the 100-page specials, and what makes this one really cool is that this story right here with the werewolf, that is actually, I think it's Neil Adams' last work on Batman until like the 2000s, and I know a lot of people don't really like to talk about that, and it has a lot of other cool reprints in there. I think that one I actually read, the Alfred. I think that was printed in something else. But yeah, this was a cool book. I literally just picked this up. I did film a video, but I have not actually gotten around to putting that out. So you guys who are watching this, you get it first here. $269, $284, $289, $290, $292, $295, $300. Quite a few that weren't in my last Batman video, like these two. I definitely have gotten more recently. $304. Oh man, this one's really low grade. This one's bad. I got this one like when I was first collecting comics from like a bundle I ordered online, and man, that's rough. $312. $320, Bernie Wrightson. $321, man, that is just such a classic cover. This is another one that I got recently, so it wouldn't have been in my last video. The Joker's birthday. This one I always see people overcharging for. This one was actually gifted to me by one of my local comic shops for helping them make some videos, and these next couple books actually were as well from that same bundle. So we have $323 and $324, some classic Catwoman covers. These are all very desirable books. Like, these are all like at least $20 books most of the time. So it was very nice to be able to get those. $326, another recent one. This one I've had for a while. $327, classic Joe Kubert. More Joe Kubert. $328. A little Jim Aparo. $334. $337. $341. $345. $347. $353. $359. $360. Love that with the purple. $361. This was another gift from my local comic shop from that same bundle as the last couple books. And this one's notable because it's the first cover appearance of Jason Todd. He is that little redhead kid on the cover there. $363. Cool Nocturna cover. $365. $368, Jason Todd becoming Robin. $375. $386, first appearance of Black Mask. This was one of the earliest key books that I kind of went out of my way to get. Very attainable for like a first Batman villain key. $387, second appearance of Black Mask. $393. $398. $399. This one was one of the first issues I added to my collection, and it was actually a gift from a friend. This was like one of his childhood books, and definitely a wild cover. Crazy to see the Comics Code Authority on a book like this. This kind of reminds me of some of the horror covers that you'd get back in the Golden Age. Anniversary issue, number 400. 401. 402. 403. And then I have an annual right here, annual number 8. And Batman Special number 1. So all of this was before Crisis on Infinite Earth reset the DC continuity. So now we're getting into the post-Crisis on Infinite Earths, and we start with issue 404, Frank Miller's Batman Year 1, Part 1. And that's the only issue I have from that collection. And then we have 408, classic Jason Todd stealing the wheels off the Batmobile. This is the new origin of Jason Todd. Before, he was just kind of a copy of Dick Grayson. He even came from a family of circus performers. Like, they really did not give him an origin of his own. So this is where we get the Jason Todd that went on to become Red Hood. And then next up we have issue 409. This is continuing Jason Todd's origin story. And I'm pretty sure this is the first appearance of Ma Gunn right there, who's the headmaster of the boys' school Jason goes to. 410. 411. So a little Two-Face story in there. 415. 416, Nightwing and Jason Todd meeting. 422. 424. This is a book that was kind of controversial because, as you can see, there's a man falling off the building, and Jason is not necessarily doing what you'd expect. You'd think that he would be trying to help this man, and in this situation he didn't do that, and you might be able to put together what was going on and why some people may not have been super happy with that. Alright, moving on. Batman 425, and okay, you can see it back there. You can see it in, like, the background of all my videos, but I don't have a full run of Death in the Family, but I do have 428, the death of Jason Todd. And then I have this really low-grade copy of 429. This, I think, just came in with a bundle of stuff I ordered online. 436, this is actually the first appearance of Tim Drake. Very undervalued book. You can find that in dollar bins. 442, Tim Drake becomes Robin in that book. 446, 447, 448, 449. This story also runs in Detective Comics, so that's where issue number 2 is, if you're wondering. 450, 452, 53, and 54. This is all 3 parts of Dark Knight, Dark City. I also have that in the trade paperback as well. 455. 457. This is the issue where Tim Drake gets his own new Robin costume. 470. 475. First Renee Montoya. 477. 478. 483. 485, 491, right before Nightfall. I don't have a full run of Nightfall, but do have some books. 492, 494, 497, Bane breaking Batman's back. It's a classic cover, and this one was another one that was gifted by a friend. And I guess I'll throw this in, even though it's not a main Batman title, but that same person actually gave me Bane's first appearance as well. 500. 505. This one's a DC Universe logo variant. Those are pretty cool. Issue number 0 from the 0 Hour story. 513. Oh, this one's one of my favorites. I'm not sure how well you can see it on camera, but this is issue 515. It is an all black embossed cover, and this one is a really nice copy. I always see these with like a million spine ticks. It shows everything, and that one's pretty perfect, so I was so happy to find that. 516. This one might be one of my favorite covers. Just a classic Kelly Jones. That image gets used all the time. 517. 519. 526. 530. This is a 3-part story called The Dead Man Connection. And these actually had variants, so right here I have the glow in the dark, and then this one is just the regular, and then 532 is a glow in the dark. And here's another little 2-issue bundle that I haven't taken out yet. This is Batman and Spectre, 540 and 41. And I have another copy of 41. This is one that I picked up a while ago before I found both of them together. 535. So these ones are some of my favorites. 544. I'm missing 545, but I have 546. This is a crossover between Joker, Etrigan the Demon, and Batman. So, pretty cool. I really like all those characters, and done in Kelly Jones' amazing art style. 548. 600. Anniversary issue, and then we move into the Hush series. I don't have everything, but I do have some. 608. This is not an original printing. This is one I think that came in like an action figure set or something like that. 609, first appearance of Thomas Elliot. He doesn't actually wear the Hush costume in this, but first Thomas Elliot, and this one is just a classic cover. People really like that one with Catwoman and Poison Ivy. This one's another great one featuring Catwoman. Classic stuff. 611. And then this one's 612, and I don't have the original cover. I actually have this one, which I think is a second printing, and it's this really cool sketch cover. This is one I got really recently. Got it for $5, and seems like this one goes for a little bit more, so that was a good find. And I got this one at the same time as I got that last one, 613. I think this one was also same time as those last two. 615. I got those in a very recent video. And 619 is the last issue of the Hush run. And then we get to 620. This is a 5-parter called Broken City. Brian Azzarello. 621. 622. This is a pretty cool story. 623, 624, and 625. 626, 627, 628, 629, 630, and we have 2 copies, a newsstand and a direct. 634. 638. I don't have everything from Under the Red Hood, but this one's a great cover. This is Batman discovering the Red Hood's secret identity. 639. 641. 644. 645. 646, 647, 654, 655, first cameo of Damian Wayne, and then I think this one's the true first appearance. 659, 663, great Joker cover, 668, 669, 670, 677, 678, 679, a lot of really cool Alex Ross covers, 683, another 683 with a different cover, 684, 685, that one's, I really like these two actually, 84 with Commissioner Gordon, and 85 with Catwoman and Alex Ross. 686, part 1 of Whatever Happened to the Caped Crusader. And then this is the same book, just a variant cover, also done by Alex Ross. And I love Alfred Pennyworth, so that's a great book. 692, 708. And Batman Volume 1 ran until issue 713, so I actually have 2 copies of that. The final issue of Volume 1, and then it continued in the New 52, and I do have a copy of issue number 1 right here. I have some more of the New 52 books, but I mainly have those in trade paperbacks, so I just kind of threw this one in there because it's just kind of cool. It's not quite everything because I don't have all the New 52 and onward books in there. And for modern stuff, I tend to collect more in trade paperbacks. But I would be willing to put something together if you guys would be interested. So let me know. And as always, thank you for watching.